What's up, y'all? We are back. X on the Beach season 5 is premiering right now. I just watched the first 10 minutes, 12 minutes. So let's go. Quick and easy. So, what we do, we first start off, we got the first 6 exes. I'm excited about the show. Like, just watching the first 12 minutes of the show, and then the little super-ish trailer that they released, it looks like it's gonna be good. Like, the past 2 seasons have not been that great, but this looks like it's gonna be good. So, first up, we just meet everybody, and the first person we meet is Devon, and Devon looks fucking good. Like, she looked good. Devon looks easily the finest one on the show. Easily. Like, she looks like she's just in her prime. Devon look good. And if you know Devon, that's my girl. Like, that's who's back I got. But she looks good. We meet Devon, we meet David from Paradise Hotel. We then meet Arisce. Her name is pronounced Arisce. I was calling her Arisce in my analysis, but we meet her. She seems cool. David seems cool too. Then we meet Ray from Love Island. If you know Ray from Love Island, you know he is just a goofball. He's just good entertainment, good energy to be around. So I'm excited to see what he's got going on with him. And then we meet Ranin. I want to keep calling her Ranin for some reason, but she is a mistress of a pastor. So she was out here sleeping around with somebody's pastor who was married. And it's always funny when you get those type of stories when it comes to like the cheating and stuff, because I mean, I'm a Christian. I'm Baptist Christian. I go straight to Baptist church. I'm about to go to church for the first time in probably 2 years since COVID and stuff this weekend. So I'm excited about that. But it's always funny when you hear about the shady shit that goes on in churches. And she was, apparently it was Justin Bieber's pastor. So it's funny. And then we meet Derynn. Derynn is from Double Shot of Love with Pauly and Viee. She's a cat lady. She's pretty much said like she's looked at as like this sex kitten, but she ain't really that. She just got a bunch of cats. She's a cat lady. But they all move into the villa. The villa looks nice. It looks kind of like Love Island if you're asking me. Like, to me it looks very Love Island-esque. But they all look good. They're all there. They're excited. They want to see what's going on, and they're ready to get it started. So then David, he goes and gets, I guess he was trying to get some drinks. But then he realizes that there's a message in the bottle. And the message in the bottle is basically telling them, like, dress to impress, the truth will set you free. And then we find out that the exes, there's 3 exes that are now there, and it looks like it was Jamar, Caro, and Mike. And they're watching their every move. So I'm assuming that they watched their every move from the moment they got on that boat to the villa. So we're about to see what the fuck's about to happen. But thank y'all again. I got through that pretty quick. But thank y'all again for rocking with me. Thumbs up the video. Please do that. Subscribe if you have not already. Drop a comment. Let me know what you're thinking about the season. If you're excited to see what's going on, who your favorites are and whatnot. But yeah, let's go. Bro, I'm already loving this season so much better than the last 2. I'm loving it. Like, it's just exciting. It's refreshing to get back to this. I guess like that 2-year break did the show good. I feel like it's more organic. But let's just get into it. So they get invited to the wine and dine where they go get dressed, and they're basically telling them like your secrets are gonna come out and just be truthful and whatnot. And Derynn says she's brutally honest and she ain't worried about it. And the funny thing is, I came into this not liking Derynn. I didn't like her on the 2 shows that she did before. But I'm starting to really like her. Like, I feel like this is probably the best show for her to really showcase who she is. Like, she's being real, she's being genuine, and that's one thing that I feel like is going to shine through on this season. So I'm liking her right now. She's doing some good stuff. So they get to the dinner. Devon walks out here, and I'm telling you, Devon looks too good this season. Like, she looks too good on this show. Like, she's always been beautiful to me, but she looked real right. But so they all get out there. Everybody looks nice. They all sit down, and Arisce gets the message. So the message, and it's funny too because they got this waiter coming out with like the tray, the entree with the thing over the top of it. And Devon's sitting there dancing, and everybody's excited, thinking there's gonna be some food. And they open the thing up, and it's the message. So Arisce pulls out the message, and she's reading it. She's basically saying that they're all gonna be held accountable for everything that they've done with their exes and whatnot. And they're gonna get asked questions. Some will be sweet, some will be nice, some will be spicy. AKA, you're gonna get a little bit of everything, so the exes can see. So they start going around the table. They were asked one word to best describe your ex. David said an onion, which I'm assuming, I guess you mean that person might stink. Who knows? Arisce said a doormat. She said her ex is a doormat. I guess she's talking about Mike. Said he's a doormat. Day said cocky. That's very accurate for hers. Ranin said her ex never followed through. And Derynn said she wishes that her ex had changed his sheets. And we all know Derynn's ex is a stripper, so that makes sense. But then they were asked what's the wildest place they've had sex. Arisce said that she had sex in a 5 Series BMW in her neighbor's driveway. Arisce got some money, clearly. And Ray said he was on a cruise with his family. They ended up asking Davon what hers was. And Davon has a moment of just true raw emotion. And that's one thing about this scene. This whole dinner table, it just felt real. Like, everything that everybody was saying felt real. And Davon was talking about how, like, the only person she's had sex with was the guy that she was in a relationship for 9 years, which is her daughter, Cadence. We love Cadence around here. Cadence's father. So Davon feels like she's missed out on a lot of experiences because she was in that long-term relationship. And that's one thing I say, because it was from 19 to 26. And that's one thing I've said, if you don't know, if you haven't watched my previous videos, I did a couple like podcast like episodes with my friends, and I was talking about that in one of the podcasts. If you haven't watched, go watch. I feel like people getting in long-term relationships at a young age, you miss out on a lot of things. Like, you don't really get to experience stuff like this and kind of figure out who you are and what you like. And that's what Davon was feeling, and she feels like she just didn't have that time. And Arisce was like, girl, you here now. You can make up for all that lost time. And David said he wants to accept himself a little bit more. He's basically alluding to the fact that he's bisexual. And I guess him being here, he wants to explore that more. And I feel like that's commendable. I feel like that's respectable. And I'm excited for him, too. Like, I'm excited for him to kind of explore what he's been waiting to explore all his life. And then Ray starts talking about how he had sex with one of his best friends, and Caro didn't know it when they were not in a relationship. And Caro ends up hearing about it, and she starts hollering, and everybody's like, oh shit, here we go. And here we go. Alright, so Caro loses her mind, and out walks the 3 exes, and that's Mike, which is Arisce's ex, Jamar, which is Davon's ex, and Caro, which is Ray's ex. And we meet Caro. She's first and only ex that we've met so far. So she's basically being Caro. If you don't know who she is, watch her on Love Island. She's the same way she's acting right now. Just super bubbly, super vibrant, super extra. And she's talking about how her and Ray were long distance. They were looked at as the cutest couple on Love Island, and they should have won the show. I do agree they should have won the show. I was very pissed off when they didn't win. But she said they were long distance, and he used to write her love letters, and she ended up being stupid and going to the tattoo shop to get a love letter tattooed on her. She got it in the right spot, though. She got it on her foot, somewhere where you can hide it. But she got that, and then she basically saying, like, the biggest issue with them was that Ray always has a bunch of girl best friends. And I guess she felt insecure about that. And insecure in the fact that maybe Ray is actually out here fucking around with these exes, or with these best friends. And that's what she's going to allude to, which we're going to go ahead and get into that now. So she basically comes outside and meets them at the dinner table and tells them that we heard everything. I heard everything that you said, yada, yada, yada. She's flipping out on him, saying, like, you literally told me back and forth that you was not sleeping around with your friends, and da-da-da-da-da. So she starts going back and forth with him. He's kind of, like, in a way, trying to keep the peace. And you can see Ray is trying not to get her hype, but she ends up losing her mind, throwing drinks and shit. As she was throwing the drinks, she's basically saying, like, I literally became best friends with one of your best friends, and you ended up fucking her while you was with me. She's claiming that that's that this happened while they were together. Ray is saying it didn't happen while they were together. But she ends up getting pissed off again and continuing to throw stuff, and she's saying that she was in love with him, and he said that he was in love with her too, but they're just going off on each other. And then it's funny though, this funny part right here is Caro said that when she broke up with Ray was basically saying, like, don't give up on me, yada yada yada. Apparently he had his mom call her to basically like back him and kind of like play Captain Saberho for him, and basically try and put in a good word for him. She starts cussing and stuff, and Ray's like, don't be cussing with my mom in your mouth at the same time. And she just flips out and starts throwing shit. Why do I keep wanting to call her Ranin, she gets pissed off because she's wearing some expensive ass leather, and the shit gets on her, and she loses her mind and storms off. So It's funny. Like, so far, it's really good. I'm enjoying it right now. So, all right, y'all. So we get back, and as they cool everything down, we then start to meet Mike. Mike, like I said, Arisce is very funny because she got some one-liners through here. The minute she sees Mike, he's got on this like cut-off shirt. She said he got this cut-off shirt on that I don't fucking like, and she just going off and just kind of throwing shade at him. But we meet him and he's basically owning the fact that he's obnoxious. Most people say he's obnoxious and annoying. I've said that in my cast analysis. And you watched it, homeboy. I saw you in the comments, which I appreciate that. Hopefully I ain't gonna get into too crazy on you. You doing good right now. You ain't doing too much right now. But basically he's saying like they kept their relationship under wraps. When they got together, they kept their relationship under wraps primarily because they didn't want their friends giving their opinions on the relationship and whatnot. So then after they got serious, Mike wanted to take it public and Arisce did not. So basically he's wanting to come back to kind of like show her, you didn't want to take us public, I'm going to be open and I want you to see me being open, aka wanting to make her jealous. And basically say like, maybe you should have wanted to go public with me and basically in a way kind of bring her back to him. And he just wants to make her jealous. David, we find out that David and Mike knew each other and they had a flirtatious relationship. Mike thought at one point it just was like some bro shit. And he's like, apparently David is now bisexual, so maybe it was flirting. So now he's interested in kind of trying to see what's going to go on there. But the funny thing is, Arisce was like, why the fuck he got to get here before I even get a chance to get with David? So it's funny too, the two exes looking at the same dude. So that's funny. I'm excited to see what that's going to do. Because later on down the line, they have a conversation. And we'll get to that. But then we meet Jamar. Jamar is a self-proclaimed player. He claims that he met Devon before they went on Big Brother Canada. He claims that he reached out to her after Big Brother Canada because he got into that thing with Minh-Ly. Claims that he reached out to her, feeling like he played her, and yada, yada, yada. And we then get him sitting down with Devon, claiming that he literally reached out to her. And she's like, nah, nigga, you ain't reached out to me talking about that shit. Like, you reached out, but you didn't reach out talking about that. You talking about some other shit. And Devon gets up and walks away because she getting irritated with him. So then we ended up getting Mike. I was about to mix them together. Mike and Arisce, they have a conversation. Like I said, basically just talking about what he said. He's like, I'm going to come out here and be open and show you that this might not be what you want. Because you might end up seeing me with somebody and getting jealous and then realizing maybe you do have those feelings that I have for you. They ended up having that little squabble back and forth, but then they end up making out. And the funny part is that Devon is in the background cheering them on because they sitting there kissing and tonguing each other down, and Devon's like, put your tongue down her throat. And I'm just laughing because it's funny as fuck. And they all laughing too because it's funny. Mike included. He laughs and is like, man, I thought nobody was watching this, but David clearly was watching it because he stormed out pissed off. So we'll see what happens here. All right, so then we get back and we get Devon up with David upstairs, basically in the house. Everybody else is downstairs outside. And Devon's basically asking him like about the kiss and whatnot and how he feels about it. And David's like, he ain't like it. And he just didn't like it. That's why he left. And Devon was like, so what you gonna do if they end up in the bed later on the night? This nigga said he gonna join them. And Devon laughs and was like, I believe you. And it's funny too, because it's like the three of them, I can literally see it too happening. That's the funny part. Like Devon said, I literally can see that happening because they all are attracted to each other. Like all three of them. So we might end up seeing our first like actual trio type relationship. What is it? A menage a trois? Is that what that's called? We might see that, or we might see our first polyamorous. Is that what it is? Polyamorous, polygamous relationship on the show. Because it seems like that's where that's headed. Because basically, we'll get down to that second part later, but Caro, we get another scene where Caro's basically apologizing to Ray about throwing that drink on him. And she's like, I apologize for throwing the drink on you, I shouldn't have did that, but my feelings were valid, everything I said was what I mean, and like, I feel that. And she's down there with Derynn, Devon, and Ranin, and the three girls just quietly move away as their conversation is getting more deep. And Caro and Ray, they both take accountability for what they did. Ray was saying like he's a good dude. It's just like he just had to be more truthful, and he took accountability for that. And and Caro's getting emotional, and she's saying like he's the type of dude that she wanted to marry. He was the dude that she wanted to marry, and they're both saying that they got love for each other, and they know that they have love for each other because of those emotions and those feelings that they have. And they know like when you have those type of feelings for somebody, it's because you care. Like me in general, if I don't care about nothing, if I don't care about something, I just don't invoke that energy. I don't talk about it, I don't care about it. So the fact that they have all that energy towards each other, that proves that they care for each other. But then we get David and Mike. David tells Mike that he's the first dude that he's ever been attracted to. Mike is looking like he's so excited to hear that. He's pansexual. David is pansexual. I didn't want to confuse that. I said bisexual, I believe, at the beginning. But he's pansexual, so he likes men and women. And yeah, he tells Mike that he likes him. And Mike is in the middle of a triangle at this point. And it's funny because they ended up kind of like flirting back and forth. And then David tries to walk away, and then they end up pulling each other together and start kissing and whatnot. And Mike is interested in exploring the relationship with David, so I'm interested in seeing where this is going to go, because he just literally was kissing Arisce. And it seems like he came to the show, like he said, he came to the show to get with Arisce. So is David going to throw a monkey wrench into this little plan that he had? So I guess we're going to see. And it makes sense now, I guess, why they got so much airtime in the promos for the show, because these three were the only, well, really, it was Mike and Arisce, but this triangle is seeming like it's possibly going to be a big storyline. So we'll see what happens. We got 6 more minutes left of the premiere. It's been good so far. I've enjoyed it. We've had a pretty decent amount of everything. You got to meet everybody, drama, excitement, and I mean it's genuine. It feels real. It feels like I'm watching Love Island, truthfully. But yeah, everybody here is pretty entertaining, so I'm excited. Alright, so we get back and it's the next day. Caro is speaking to Mike and she just regrets how she acted that day. And Mike is kind of like telling her, nah, like, your actions were justified. You kind of swayed the girls. The girls initially were like thinking what Ray was saying was valid, and you kind of swayed them, and they were like, yeah, I would have done the same thing. So Mike is pretty much validating her actions the day before. Ray and Jamar are outside. They're basically talking about the same thing. They're talking about Ray feels like no girl's gonna give him a chance, and they basically sitting there laughing and stuff. But Ray's basically saying like, Caro's a good girl. I don't know if he's interested in still trying to pursue that, but he's not bashing her, talking bad about her, so that's good too. So then we get a horn as everybody else is outside. So then they end up running inside. We then find out it's the Totem of Terror, aka that little pole that has the pictures of each one of them that's going out there to the beach to go see whose ex is coming next. And those 3 lucky people are David, Ranin, and Derynn. So they end up going to the beach. We don't know who's here yet. So we'll see that next episode. And we got the season trailer. The season trailer looked really good. I'm not going to lie to you. It looked really good. It looks a lot better than the past 2 seasons. Like I said, the past 2 seasons were not that great. Season 1 and Season 2. But Season 2 was like top tier. But Season 1, Season 2 were good. Season 3 I only watched for Kenya. I ain't gonna ever say nothing bad about her. That's my girl. Season 4 I did not watch. But yeah, this season's looking good. I'm very excited. Please, if you watch this video in full and get to this part that I'm talking about right now, please drop a comment. Let me know what y'all thought about the premiere. What you thought about everybody that's on it. Let me know who your favorites are. What you think is going to happen this season. What you thought about the mid-season trailer, but the trailer for the season. And who you're excited to see and what stories are going to unfold. What you thinking about it. So drop that. Thumbs up the video. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. If you have not already, please do that. I will be here reviewing this show as well as Bad Boys Los Angeles. If you have not watched that, watch that on my page. The Challenge, the All-Stars, that's coming too. And then a couple more shows. I think that All-Star show is probably going to come out soon too. So yeah, I'm here. I'll be here with y'all. So good first premiere episode. I will say it's a very good premiere. So yeah, I'm excited. I will catch y'all Sunday for Bad Boys if you watch it. Peace.